What's up, guys? Welcome back finally to the Game Show Global Esports Cup. We've had so many teams just not show up or for whatever reason not be here. But we're here right now for what should be a very interesting match. We got Monkey Fredom fighters. Yes, they are not dead. You can take a look at who's on there and you can see, well, it's quite the team going up against pub players who have quite a few names as well. I'm not sure who this 23 guy is. This guy, the at-face guy, is Kozinki. In case anyone else is curious, MDL, Shock, pretty standard stuff there, but I'm going to try to check who 23 is once we get into the game. So I don't think I can actually do it from here. I'm Mikelorus, going to be your only casters for today. But what happened to Monkey? Okay, we started late, so that's why they don't have any reserve time. So yeah, they got to make their choice pretty quickly. This is going to be pretty interesting. Monkey Fredom fighters, these players have played before together to quite an extent. Arrow, in case you don't know, is Demon, actually. So I'm not sure, has played with any of these other players to a great extent, but everyone else has. So they are still pretty familiar with one another. Taking a quick look at these bands out, and Dying getting a rather boot out Shaker potentially as well. But hey, there is still an Alchemist in the pool right now, yet Monkey Fredom fighters deciding not to go for that. Winter Wyvern is also still available, so expect these heroes to be picked perhaps a little bit late, or picked banned right now perhaps. But as far as these two teams match up against one another, it is definitely very difficult to tell. Monkey Fredom fighters, not exactly a home run of a team in their previous incarnation, but this is a new team, so there's actually no way to tell. Maybe it's going to work out, maybe not, in which case it'll have to be a little bit more of a coin toss than anything else. But I mean, because it is hard to tell, we're going to have to look at the draft and see who's going to get a little bit of an edge from that. And so far, both teams picking up the wide array of very powerful heroes that are still in the pool right now. Tusk is going to be the second selection here for pub players, and then they ban out the Dazzle themselves, which is a little bit curious. The Tusk-Dazzle combo is certainly very, very powerful, and if they can get their hands on it, I'm surprised that they voluntarily decide to prevent themselves from getting their hands on it by banning it out. But still, Tusk and Ember Spirit, very difficult heroes to peg down and kill, especially since the MFF opening picks of the Shadow Fiend and the Darkseer don't exactly have much lockdown. You get the Vacuum, which is like mini stun, not really going to be doing it a whole lot up against like some Ember Spirit. And Shadow Fiend is going to work well for the mid lane, especially if somehow the Ember Spirit lands in that lane. But other than that, they don't really have any CC effects, which is why we see the Disruptor now being banned out. A decent counter versus the Ember Spirit, but overall kind of mediocre. They may be lacking so much that they have to go into like the real hard counters or real hard answers to dig up some crowd control effects. Doom would be the best pick probably right now. It's not available. They're actually going to go for a Venomancer. So no hard crowd control just yet for Monkey Fredom fighters. They will maybe even struggle to deal with this Ember Spirit. Again, they're going to have to go into like Lion or Skywrath Mage, anyone with a point-click instant disable. But the Venomancer for Monkey Fredom fighters, definitely an interesting one, is going to mean that their team fight is very, very devastating. And, well, their ability to apply early pressure is definitely there as well. Shadow Fiend, because he has a Darkseer with him, isn't going to necessarily have to go for... he's Necroman. Thanks, bro. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that does make sense. I have seen Necroman with that image before. Which doesn't ring a bell, because I don't recognize these players by their icons. I'm going to be honest, guys. Maybe that makes me a bad caster, but I'm going to assume that most people can't recognize people's icons. Shadow Fiend with Darkseer doesn't need to necessarily rush that mech, as usually Shadow Fiend does. Let Darkseer do it, and Darkseer will probably be a better holder for that 9 times out of 10, because he could also get the Guardian Greaves, whereas Shadow Fiend, I don't think I've ever seen him go for Guardian Greaves. You don't really want to get Arcane Boost on Shadow Fiend. And that means Shadow Fiend could either go for Shadow Blade, Sanjin Yasha. More often than not, it's going to be S and Y, but items that help him really bulk up and be a really mid-game powerhouse. And then you have Venomancer mixed in there as well, with the, of course, high magic damage between the Requiem and Venomancer. May be difficult for pub players to actually just straight out survive, unless they're going to be getting the likes of Pipe and Mechanism, and currently they don't really have heroes that want to be doing that. And then, of course, their towers will be pushed with the Venomancer should he go for those Plague Wards as his prioritized build. Might be played as support, in which case, yeah, he doesn't really have a huge amount of selection as to what skill build he really wants to go for, but the versatility of Venomancer is certainly there. Whereas for pub players, they're going to grab a Lina, so a little bit of firepower, literally. Get it? Firepower? Going to be picked up by the pub player side. So Lina as well as Ember Spirit as, well, potentially hard-hitting cores down the line. Monkey Fredom fighters have the Darkseer as their tanky hero, but aside from that, not too bulky. Rubik is the pick for them. So, I mean, it is a point-click stun, and that is nice. Whether or not it's going to be enough to kill off an Ember Spirit, that is probably, well, I can answer that for you. It's probably not going to be enough. As much damage as they have, they'll have to get like a lift up into a Requiem or a lift up into Raises, and that's very difficult to catch Ember Spirit by surprise with. And pub players have crowd control up the wazoo right now. Don't really have the best answer to a Darkseer Surge, but they just have a lot of stuns and a lot of control with the Lina and Tusk. And hell, even the chains for the Ember Spirit, not too bad later on. So Monkey Freedom Fighter is kind of in this mid-rangey type strategy. Maybe we'll want to go for the likes of a Spectre as the last, try to out late game pub players, but ooh, we got a Shadow Demon for pub players. And that's an interesting one. Now, Lina and Tusk, both fairly versatile in where they can go, whether support, mid, or offlane. I mean, mid for Lina, offlane for Tusk. Shadow Demon 9 times out of 10 is going to be played as support, and if you do have someone like a Lina to go with him, then you can go ahead and get kills in any given lane. Even, you know, difficult lanes to dislodge like Darkseer lanes. Or you could have Shadow Demon and Tusk go on the roam, in which case you snowball in so that Shadow Demon could get in there for, I don't know, a curse or something like that. You generally don't want to be snowballing in the Shadow Demon, but you have so much time to set up for the likes of Lina and Ember Spirit with those two if you just get in range. And that is going, the snowballs from the Tusk is going to guarantee that Shadow Demon does get in range pretty much every single time. Got Gyrocopter to be banned out along with that Wind Ranger. Monkey Freedom Fighter is definitely fearing the mid lane Wind Ranger. I mean, more likely than not, it's going to be a mid lane selection here for the pub player side. Lina support with Shadow Demon support and grab boots on one of them. Yeah, you can put a lot of pressure onto any hero that you gank, especially the softer ones like Rubik and Venomancer. They're very easy targets to kill off. And because Monkey Freedom Fighters don't have any reserve time because they were late to the party, they are not going to have a whole lot of time to think about this last pick.
10 seconds remaining.
Now again, with this new team, I'm not exactly sure who's going to be playing what. So we'll just have to see if the individual skill levels shine through. It's an Alchemist. Quelle surprise! An Alchemist really in these games? Well, I mean, Alchemist was, as I mentioned before, still in the pool. And it doesn't really fit in great with what pub players have. I mean, I guess maybe if they put like Ember Spirit mid, Tusk offlane, Lina, Shadow Demon, Alchemist up towards top. In which case, you could actually set up for some pretty decent damage from an Alchemist. But you know, for Monkey Freedom Fighters, they're going to get this Turbo Farmer. And they can play him a little bit more aggressively. Although, most of the time we see Alchemists going towards mid lane. The difference between mid lane Alchemist versus mid lane Shadow Fiend is pretty vast for Monkey Freedom Fighters. So the Alchemist may even be going towards safe lane. It's not super common, but it is possible in this particular game. Maybe expecting a little bit more of an easier lane there, and with the Rubik and Venomancer to support him, he may even be able to get some kills. You still want to get control of those bounty runes if you can as the Alchemist, but whenever you pick up an Alchemist, you got to look into how much can he power farm for the team. Veno, Rubik, Darkseer's Aghanim Scepter upgrades are actually insane, and Shadow Fiend unfortunately doesn't have one. But still, that's 3 out of 4. That's not bad for an Alchemist. And outside of that, pub players, they just need to answer this Alchemist with sheer burst, which they do have. Lina especially, a very good answer to that Alchemist. I wonder, oh, Ancient Apparitions banned out, so never mind. Slark is the pick for the pub player side. And this is a hero that really combos well with Shadow Demon, and I guess to a lesser degree Tusk. Just having the ability to get in there with the Slark early on, even if the enemy, say Darkseer, is playing very close to his tower, very, let's say on the stairs of that top lane for the Radiant, then you could just always put him in a bubble, get Slark so much time to walk in, and then land that Pounce. And Pounce and Pact already do a decent amount of damage. Get the Shadow Demon's Curse on top of that, and yeah, whoever's going to be the recipient of that is going to be in for a bad time. It may even be powerful enough to run an offensive tri-lane. Not sure if pub players are going to make that call, but we'll see as they do load out into their lanes. Guys, this is going to be a best of 1. The winner of this is going to be facing up against Danish Bears in the next match, and the loser of this faces up against NLG in the match following that. So let's see who's going to be playing what. We got Necroman. He's going to be handling the Ember Spirit going mid. Shock is on the Shadow Demon. This is Klazinki on the Slark. Got RNT on the Tusk, and MDL is on the Lina. They're running into Yapzor's Rubik, though it looks like Yapzor is going to be perfectly fine. Beaver Knighter Sing Sing is going to be on the Farming Alchemist. Kabap is on the Venomancer. And there's a Rise on the mid lane. Shadow Fiend and Arrow, or Demon if you prefer, is on the Darkseer. So yeah, definitely, I mean, maybe not like star-studded lineup. There are quite a few big names, a lot of recognition here, let's say, if we're going to be perfectly fair. But yeah, Monkey Freedom Fighters, having a whole bunch of good players is one thing. you really want to have a whole bunch of players that work well together, and we'll see if they can actually do that. And the first test, guaranteeing the bounty rune for Beaver Knight. Now, level 1 Alchemist is a pretty trash hero, doesn't really do a lot. However, with double Ion Shells already kind of getting prepared by Demon, pub players are going to be forced out. They will grab the bounty rune for the Slark down towards bottom lane, so he's going to be happy with that. But for the Alchemist, already off to a pretty nice start in securing himself that extra, very balanced 500 gold. Because, you know, that seems fair. And it looks like Beaver Knight is going to be going up towards the top lane. Yeah, they're actually going to leave Demon on the bottom lane by himself. Going up against Slark, going up against potentially a Slark Shadow Demon dual lane. It's not going to be super fun for the Darkseer, and for a Darkseer to go onto the safe lane, I mean, it is slightly better since he's closer to his tower. He does have to be careful about rotations in, especially like once he gets to this point. If he doesn't have any wards, if this one isn't going to see a target because of smoke or something like that, then he can very easily get jumped by the Shadow Demon. But the upside is that they put the Alchemist in a very different environment from where he usually is, and for pub players, I'm sure they just really didn't expect this. I mean, they're going to be running dual kind of tri-lanes here, Tusk, Shadow Demon, Lina. These are very good heroes for fighting very early on. But this is a Venomancer and Rubik we're talking about. This is a lot of poke damage to start things out. And as fragile as they may be, they still will be able to get Beaver Knight at the very least a little bit of farm. Now, whether this is going to be more farm for him up on top lane than if he would have gotten if he was going towards bottom, that's up in the air, and it's probably going to be a little bit less. But for the Alchemist, level 1 you always get Greevil's Greed. Pretty much no questions asked, because even if you get first blood by going for Unstable Concoction, it's worth more to you if you go for the extra gold given by the bounty runes. Over towards mid lane, Arise in a little bit of trouble actually. The chains are going to lash him down. He is going to long raise 23. Yapzor is going to arrive for the lift up, but this is a Ember Spirit with Poor Man's Shield. Not enough damage from Yapzor, probably. Seems like that Poor Man's Shield actually got a couple of lucky blocks, although one more right click is going to be enough. He'll salve up. And that's not going to be a huge win for Yapzor. He costed himself a TP scroll to actually make that play. But drawing out the salve of the Ember Spirit, who still does not have a bottle, whereas Arise is able to regen up and sit comfortably in lane and last hit, is going to make that a pretty big win for the Monkey Freedom Fighters just at level 1. Since Ember Spirit's not farming right now, Shadow Fiend will have, by the time the Ember Spirit returns, a little bit of advantage. Beaver Knight, Bounty Rune, how valuable is that to the Alchemist? Seems like it's not as valuable to him as it is for Arise. But we'll see what build this Alchemist really wants to go for in this lane. You would expect him to go for a little bit more of an aggressive slanted build. Obviously, you want to be getting Greevil's Greed as Alchemist if you can, but he's going to get put into a bubble first. LSA is going to be coming in. Beaver Knight, not super tanky as the Alchemist Gale, is going to land onto one. Snowball's coming in. It's actually going towards Kabap, the weaker hero in the Venomancer. But, I mean, Beaver Knight was already pretty low. Acid Spray doing its work, and now Shock and RGL. Everyone here is really weak. Yapzor has a Fade Bolt. That won't be lethal damage on any of these heroes. But with the salve up, Alchemist can continue farming. Kabap, same thing. Will chug the salve down and taking a quick salve check. There's only one here for RNT. You know, as powerful as these three heroes are together, it's really at level 2 where they hit their stride, at least on these two supports. Lina and Shadow Demon, you need the LSA into Dragon Slave. You need the Curse, really, if you're going to effectively insta-kill the likes of Alchemist. Because even though he is, you know, kind of fragile for strength heroes, he starts out with a decent amount. 1.8 strength gain for a strength hero is pathetically low. So, you know, as he does level up, he will get kind of easier to kill in theory. But at the same time, you gotta watch out for Monkey Freedom Fighters' ability to go aggressive themselves. They're gonna put another bubble, this time onto the Rubik. LSA is gonna be there. RNT is there with level 2 Snowball and Shards. Yapzor will throw a Fade Bolt, but he will fall. Shock, though, gonna equally die towards Beaver Knight as he drops some acid down onto the deck. Eats his mango, starts popping that potion. The Snowball is actually going to connect right onto it. Suicide Bomber. Beaver Knight is going to get the kill with the concoction onto Lina. RNT going to pop his salve. Is he going to fall? 8 HP. Looks like he will. Maybe die to this ward. Oh, 5 HP. Poison Sting. No, it's not quite enough. And now Venomancer is going to get put into a bubble. There's no follow-up here from the Tusk. He does have a Mango, but he doesn't really want to use it. Kabap looking for the neutral deny, it seems. These neutrals do a lot of damage because of the curse, but it's not going to be enough. Shadow Demon pulls the aggro and is going to kill off the Venomancer in the end. After all is said and done, Beaver Knight does slip out of there alive as the Alchemist, as does Tusk, played by RNT. But ultimately, it is a 2-for-2 big showdown up on that top lane. And what a start to this game, right? This top lane is certainly very interesting, especially that concoction, man. Like, the nerf to the Snowball, making it, I guess, like, ball up for only 3 seconds instead of, what was it, 4 seconds in the last patch? Otherwise would have gotten the Alchemist to pop himself with that potion and wouldn't have gotten that insta-kill on the Lina. But now he's back up here with 2 kills to his name. He is going to have to go for this Acid Spray Concoction build, which is the point I was trying to get towards if the Radiant team would actually let me. Unstable Concoction Acid Spray, not really as attractive for Alchemist, but you got to remember that this does a lot of damage if you can shake it up properly. The problem is that he's working up against a lot of stuns and Snowball, so actually landing the Concoction is far, far from guaranteed for Beaver Knight. They may actually want to swap up the lanes right now. Demon's doing very well in this bottom lane, as you would expect, but not well enough to really kick this Slark's ass. I mean, it is going to be, for the most part, an even lane. They're going to lift up onto the Ember Spirit. However, he already has the Magic Shield up. He's going to take a couple more raises. Right-click damage from a Rise, not quite enough. And then we'll be forced to let that Ember Spirit walk. It looks like we're going to have a slow lane rotation right now. Demon's going to stay on this bottom lane. Ion Shells versus Slark, not super effective now that the Slark has the Shadow Dance. Beaver Knight going towards the mid lane. Looks like he wants to cash in on his Greevil's Greed. I feel like this is a move that you make if you are a little bit in disagreement with the game plan as a team. Like, Demon's doing fantastically. He may even want to move up towards top lane and start pressuring that tower. And then put, I don't know, the Alchemist down here, the Shadow Fiend down there. He's going to clear out a little bit of a stack of Rise, but yeah, this is now a level 4 Alchemist versus a level 5 Ember Spirit. Actually not a terrible disadvantage for the Alchemist, but I don't think he's really going to be able to do that much here. He's gone for 2 points Greevil Greed. He's gone for 1 point in Simple Concoction instead of the second level of Acid Spray. These are all, you know, things that the Alchemist doesn't really want to concede early on, because this is going to significantly weaken his laning strength, and now he might get jumped. Here's the curse. And on top of the disruption, chains are there. Beaver Knight in a lot of trouble. LSA plus a double damage Lina. They'll kill off the Alchemist in the blink of an eye. And yeah, this is not a situation where Alchemist wants to be. Now that Ember Spirit is level 6 especially, just jumping in there with the chains after the Spirit is so easy, and there's nothing that the Alchemist can actually do about this. They may have just screwed over their own Alchemist by trying to run an offensive tri-lane. Maybe expecting a little bit of greedy lane from pub players themselves, but it clearly didn't work out. And now Alchemist is going to make a long rotation all the way down towards bottom. Now this is, in theory, the safest place for Beaver Knight to be right now. Unfortunately for him, he's going up against a level 7 Slark. And that in of itself is bad times for the Alchemist, since again, Pounce Pack does a lot of damage. There's no answer coming out from the Alchemist. To make matters worse, the Lina and Shadow Demon are going to follow this Alchemist everywhere. I love this play coming out from pub players. They're making sure that this Alchemist is going to get behind to start things out, and he already is, and he will stay behind because they're just going to constantly sit on him no matter where he goes. As Alchemist right now, you want to be on top of the net worth chart by a good 1,000 gold, but he's not going to get there, not even close, especially if he gets hit with this curse, and he will. LSA is going to be set up, will land. The Slark, though lifted up, is going to land the Pounce in the end, and Alchemist is going to fall for the second time this game. He's not going to get any farm anytime soon, and this Alchemist's deaths just power leveling these support players. Arise going to leash Requiem over towards mid. Will not have enough to kill off this Ember Spirit, I don't think. His Flame Guard will dry up. Looks like the raise, oh, not quite in range from Arise. Will not be able to get that one. But pub players, their supports are getting quite a few levels. Now 2 points of Curse in the Shadow Demon, which of course makes the 3 points rather, of aggressive skills picked up by MDL that much more potent. Arise will maybe not see this one coming. The Observe Ward for the Radiant. The vision is okay for this angle coming from these supports, but aside from that, the Radiant are working pretty blindly. I guess the winner of this is Kabap up towards top lane, who's going to be going, well, 1 versus 1 with the Tusk. Does definitely have to fear the Snowball, Shards, Walrus Punch. That may just insta-kill the Venomancer, but now that the lane is pushing in, Venomancer is going to be able to get quite a bit of experience and win Arise. He may have a regen rune. He's going to want to use some raises to clear this camp, but he's completely spotted out right now. Can Shadow Demon Lina by themselves kill off a full health Shadow Fiend? Probably not, but they're trying to get into position right now. Here they go. Arise going to walk right into it. Bubble is there. Curse, LSA, wound up. Here comes Necroman. He's going to chain Arise down. Dragon Slave going to destroy Arise's health pool, and he will pop doing quite a bit of damage. Now put Shock in the corner, 23. Very low, but should have enough to get out of here. He's going to launch a Remnant and then jump to it. Straight down River, who's going to be fine. Shock kind of getting left behind. Demon will chase him down with the Ion Shell burning. They'll take the Shadow Demon down and also lift up MDL. Slow to a crawl, this Lina is still pretty fast with the boots, but now Beaver Knight wants in on this action. LSA not going to land, as now he's going to start popping that potion. And with the Fade Bolt, well, they'll get the kill with the Rubik, so it looks like that potion wasn't even needed. But still, it's a 2-for-1 in favor of the Monkey Freedom Fighters side. Not a great 2-for-1, as they did lose their Shadow Demon, the hero that for the MFF side has been doing really darn well, and they need to have him do well in this game. But taking 2 high-level supports in trade, not a terrible trade, all things considered. I'm really not sure where Sing Sing is going to end up as this Alchemist. Like, he's gone for a full Greevil's Greed build, so he wants to just power farm. And I guess this is in theory the correct build to go for if you're looking to recover. But this is going to therefore apply a lot more pressure to Arise to not die, get kills. Same thing for Demon. He's gone for the Hand of Midas and the Darkseer, which is at a pretty decent timing. Pre 10 minutes for a Darkseer is pretty darn good with the Soul Ring. But as far as him being able to contribute a lot in those fights, really hinges upon the type of fights he enters, as well as his ability to farm up that mechanism following. Up towards top lane, Kabap in a lot of trouble. Will put down a whole bunch of wards, may even block out RNT. He's going to try to TP out. Looks like he'll get out, even stick up just for safety purposes. An easy kill on this Venomancer up towards top lane, although maybe not as convincing as they would really like. Why is Sing Sing now up on top lane? What is going on here? This Alchemist is... I mean, you can play a roaming support Alchemist if you go for a Concoction and Acid Spray. Oh, Arrow gonna grab the double damage rune and now pick a fight with a Slark. Not a good idea, Demon. I don't like this decision at all. He's gonna decide to surge away, but the Slark should have another pounce soon. Well, it's only level 2, and he's actually gonna try to juke him out. Arrow, where are you going? Demon needs to put at least an Ion Shell on himself so he gets a damage trade. He's gonna fail the vacuum. Now the Pact is gonna land with a pounce. What was that? Like, why are you picking a fight with Slark? Why are you like running back and forth? Please, Jimmy, please. I don't have the I don't think I have the permission of Demon to call him Jimmy, so I won't. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Mr. Demon. I will not do that. We're not quite at that point yet, but yeah, those plays, I don't really know what that's about. Maybe he was expecting a Rise to come in, though that seemed kind of hopeful. Pub players have almost full control of this game. Now, the Shadowy Fiend and the Darkseer are still doing very well, but the Darkseer doing very well isn't going to mean that Monkey Freedom fighters are completely out of this hole that they've dug themselves in. They need Alchemist to find someplace to farm, and look, he's now in the bottom lane. How interesting. Yeah, I'm not really sure what this Alchemist is going to end up on. Again, as I was trying to say, you can run a roaming Alchemist that used to be a thing and still can potentially be a thing, but you need to get Unstable Concoction and Acid Spray for that. Going for Gruel's Greed means you want to farm, and, well, when you want to farm, you don't want to meet the Slark again. The Slark is actually going to wrap around, find Kabap. He's now spotted, he knows about it, but he can insta-kill this Venomancer super easily if a pounce is going to land, and it will. Pact is there, Kabap's going to try to TP out, needs one more right click, he'll get it. Venomancer dead, and there's nothing that an Alchemist can do, especially such a low-level Alchemist. Looks like they want to look for a trade up towards top lane. Demon gonna surge forward, vacuum back, onto RNT, into a vacuum. One raise, two raise, second one gonna miss. LSA, however, equally gonna miss. Now the Snowball's going towards a Rise. Ion Shell with a little bit of damage. Walrus Punch is the final desperation from the Tusk, is going to get dropped up on this top lane. For Monkey Freedom fighters, it's no Slark kill, but you know what? They trade across the board the Slark for the Tusk for the Venomancer, rather. That is going to be a decent trade for Monkey Freedom fighters. The trade that they really do have to be making. At this stage, any trade really is good. Like, even giving away Beaver Knight for any other kill really is still probably worth it. I mean, at this point, you just need to get the Shadow Fiend that much further ahead and hope that for a Rise, he's able to carry this game. Looks like he's going to go for the mech after all. This leaves Darkseer to go for another item that's not mech, which we usually don't see from Darkseers. Usually it's Arcanes into mech into Guardian's Greaves. And mix in a Force Staff or Blink Dagger or something along those lines along the way. But we'll see what he wants to go for. With the Hand of Midas, whatever he wants to go for, should be able to get that one pretty quickly. Pub players, their Slark has gotten quite a bit. 300, a ton of CS on top of the net worth chart. 900 gold. Has already grabbed his basic items. It looks like Klazinki is going to go for Drums, which is a pretty aggressive build for Slark. He's going to go straight for Shadow Blade after this Ring of Aquila, Power Treads, Wand opening, which I do like quite a bit on my Slarks. But going for Drums, going for like an S&Y afterwards, he's going to be ready to fight, and Pub players really want to step up the heat once that happens. Now, Necroman isn't doing as well as the Shadow Fiend, but he's still getting quite a lot as far as his levels are concerned. With just the gold that he has and the levels that he has, he'll be able to contribute to any particular gank, say, you know, on Beaver Knight. Right now, Pub, they're just locking down the map right now. No one really wants to mess with this Slark because, well, they tried before and it didn't work. RNT's Tusk has grabbed that mech, and he's now going to get jumped. The Aptor's going to lift up. Lina, one raise, two raise, one right click. Snowball a little bit too late to save the Lina, and now the Tusk has just got to run. Shard's not going to block off. He's going to try to sigil up in the air, but still arrives right on his ass with the haste rune. There's no escape here for RNT, though. He's going to throw some shards, and now here comes the Ember Spirit, but he's walled off by the shards. Arise going to unleash a Requiem. Won't do a ton of damage. But at least RNT gets bailed out by his allies. But now here comes Necroman again. Snowball forward onto a Rise right now. The Shadow Fiend's going to get obliterated. Death Requiem doing quite a bit of damage to the Slark, but they'll also kill off the Darkseer in the midst of it, who wasn't very healthy to start things out. And they do land a pretty good Nova to get the lift up onto the Ember Spirit. But they're fighting 4v5 at this stage. Yapzor, well, he's not getting hit with the chains. They do jump up with the Ember Spirit, but he's taking so much damage over time. He's going to try to bottle up. It is lethal damage. Yapzor is going to draw a big kill, a double kill at that. That was actually the Rubik's chains. Never mind. That's why he didn't get chained down. But yeah, it's now going to be versus the Slark as Klazinki looking for it. Well, Yapzor has a TP. Looks like he will stick around, kind of boldly so at that. He should not be here. He cashed in already. He's going to run to MDL. This is a level 7 Lina we're talking about. Even though Rubik has level 4 chains, which do a hell of a lot of damage, he spotted and now he knows about it. Well, that's a little bit awkward. Yapzor's just going to immediately leave. And well, 8-10. The greatest thing about that fight for Monkey Freedom Fighters was the fact that Sing Sing was not involved in that. He had, I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes of free farm. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're hurting this bad as Alchemist, any sort of farm you can get is going to stack up that Grievel's Greed, and you're going to be getting, well, you know, 3,000 gold. That's not a bad sum for Beaver Knight. Obviously, at this point, he wants to have his Relic at least. Ideally, he would like to have his Radiance, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. He is going to get a little bit of time to farm, and for Monkey Freedom Fighters, they were able to fight pretty decently 4v5. The level 1 Venomancer ultimate, you know, really pales in comparison to level 2. It is so expensive in his mana pool, but he is still doing a hell of a lot of magic damage in an AoE along with a Rise. And we saw that in that last fight. I described it in the draft. Even though you may have a mechanism on the Tusk, it's still so much damage over time that's only going to get worse. Now, Kebab isn't really farming amazingly. In fact, he's doing very poorly on bottom of the net worth chart. But if he's somehow able to scrape together a Blink Dagger, Aghanim Scepter, who knows how this game is going to progress. If Alchemist can somehow power farm the Venomancer into an Aghanim Scepter, that'll actually be insane. But for right now, they don't want to go for the tower. There's a disruption. Well, they get the deny. I think he is going to be just fine as he does packed away from that. Again, this is a pretty good play for Pub, but beggars can't be choosers for Monkey Freedom Fighters. The big issue, or the big asset by taking down the tower is the fact that Beaver Knight gets free farm, and he gets a little bit of extra tower gold. However, he's now going to be forced to fight up against the Slark. He needs to TP out right now. He does have a little bit more of his ultimate up, so that will keep him alive. If he didn't have that, pretty sure he would have died. But he will survive and get a little bit closer to that relic. He'll have it in just 50 gold, and that represents the comeback mechanism for the Alchemist. Power farm the hell out of the map. Rubik's gonna get snowballed. Walrus Punch over towards mid lane, though. Is gonna get lifted up onto RNT. Not gonna save his ass. Rubik's gonna give up a killing spree to the Lina. With 1,500 gold, is looking for most likely a Yule Scepter as her next item. Oh, Ember Spirit, what do you have? Perseverance. Nothing too huge right now. You know, I'd rather like to see this Slark go for the Shadow Blade over the drums and go for drums in the Ember Spirit. I mean, you obviously can stack drums if you want to, but Ember Spirit with these items, as much damage as he's doing in these fights, can really be doing a lot more should he have those drums, just to stick around the fights a little bit longer. Whereas for Slark, going straight for Shadow Blade and relying more on the Shadow Dance, playing a very much so hit and run style, something that Slark can do very easily.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, right now, Pub players, they're hanging around the enemy jungle. Looks like they want to continue applying pressure to this Sing Sing Alchemist, and they may actually get their angle. Completely spotted out, by the way, as he is farming enemy trees, but oh, Arrow, he's going to get hit with the chains. Vacuum is available. He's going to wait for the bubble to dissipate. He's still going to drop, however, the illusions. Will it be enough to chase down Shock? Go Shadow Demon illusion. Unfortunately, Shadow Demon doesn't actually do a lot of damage, therefore his illusions also don't do a lot of damage. Will interrupt an urn. I guess that's nice, but the Darkseer can't afford to be dying at this stage. Like, he is worth quite a bit. Second place for the Monkey Freedom Fighter side. Beaver Knight gonna run to, oh no, a double damage Slark. This is gonna be a super dead Alchemist trying to run in a circle, but the Slark will pop him. Here comes Kabap and a Rise. They may land their Gale, but he has another Packed Off. He has Pounce, he has Shadow Dance, he has Drums. There's no chance they catch up to this Slark. Even if Rise gets into a man fight with him, Slark might actually come ahead in that. Yeah, with the Shadow Dance, probably will keep him alive. Gotta watch out for the Requiem as a Slark. That thing hurts. The lack of damage after you get hit with the Requiem, that is probably, you know, that is more relevant on Slark, let's say, than a great majority of the other heroes. The bottom line, it is the Alchemist to die, and for Pub players to keep getting these kills, they're keeping themselves in the lead. Still not by a decisive amount. Only 2,000 gold, 4,000 experience. But the weakness is in that the Alchemist wants to be fighting from ahead. Even if he is, like, 2,000 gold ahead of any other given player, he still is going to be a little bit less useful, because the whole point of Alchemist is that he's balanced around the fact that he has Chemical Rage and Grievel's Greed. So him being behind means that he's that much further behind. And Pub players, they haven't really gone really aggressively towards these towers. They really don't have a good kit for a good hero lineup that can kill off towers. They really should just be looking for these kills 24/7. That's why we see MDL gonna go for an Aghanim Scepter, just trying to burst those heroes down. If you do land a curse, that's gonna hurt. Like Beaver Knight again is in a lot of trouble. Slark is more than enough damage to kill him off. Oh, this is just not Sing Sing's game, man. He just can't escape this Slark. No matter where he goes, the Slark is there. But it's not the Slark, it's the Shadow Demon Lina. He has picked up the Radiance. Yeah, that's really nice. But at this stage, any other given Radiance carrier, whether it be Naga Siren, Lone Druid, they would have had the Radiance already. And Alchemist is supposed to be farming a lot faster than those guys. So it's not going to be an Alchemist game, at least not for a very long time. Pub players should be looking to press their advantage, and that's why I think we see them grouping up towards mid. Tier 1 tower, not that healthy to start things out. But going for a kill onto a Rise, that's super attractive. They need their Tusk for that, though. Yeah, get the Tusk first. I think I like the 5v4 strategy coming out from Pub players. I don't know, maybe. But Rise is almost at his BKB. If they kill him off right now, grab the BKB, or take away his BKB gold. Good times for Pub players if they can somehow manage that. Rubik, though, wow. Yeah, Yapzor has grabbed the Force Staff. Now, that is pretty much only because he was able to survive the fight over here. But still, this Force Staff is actually a pretty big deal. You can save people from the likes of the setup from Pub players. Oh, jeez. Everyone dropping. They're dropping like flies, guys. What are we going to do? But Force Staff, a really big pickup on the Rubik. If the Rubik can overperform, steal like a Laguna Blade... Sorry, I have a drinking problem. Steal a Laguna Blade or something like that. That can very easily at least balance out the fight for Monkey Freedom Fighters. They also need this Darkseer to grab something. He's gone for Arcane Boots after the Animitis, but since then hasn't done really anything with his gold. Has been dying quite a lot, to be fair, but Demon at this point has level 4 Vacuum, level 1 Wall, and one level that wall should be level 2. And going for most likely a Blink Dagger. Land that, land a Requiem, land a Nova, and it doesn't really matter what level of farm your Alchemist is at, because that can just instantly win you fights. For Pub players, though, their Battle Fury is almost up in the Ember Spirit. This is the only reason why Pub players aren't really super eager to fight right now. Simply because Necroman is close to that Battle Fury, and if you're this close, you really don't want to die. Just give him a couple more moments to farm, but at the same time, Slark is looking for blood with a Shadow Blade. He is spotted, of course. And I'm pretty sure in lobby games, can you like not move your camera while paused? Is that a thing? I'm pretty sure I heard someone say that was a thing. I don't know. I don't play in these lobby games ever. I might just be tripping. But, yeah, I mean, the Slark wants to go for blood. His Shadow Blade should be spotted at this point. And actually, yeah, it was used to pick off the Alchemist, so of course they know it's there. Once you get this Shadow Blade on the Slark, you never want to stop ganking. Just keep on getting those kills, and ideally start getting items like Ultimate Orbs. Just try to get those Eye of Scotty components up. You transition to the late game, and with the Ember Spirit, late game should be almost completely locked down by the Pub player side. And it's going to be a little bit difficult for Monkey Freedom Fighters to get their Alchemists back into this game. I mean, he has 5k net worth, but it's just like a Relic. Relic's pretty good. Relic is pretty good to have in your inventory. It's a lot of damage, I guess, but no survivability. Survivability is going to have to come later. I guess he can cross his fingers and hope that next time he's jumped by the Slark is going to miss a whole lot once he has his Radiance. I don't really think that's the greatest strategy from the Alchemist, so a risky move for sure. Yeah, Alchemist just needs some more time to recover. That's going to come down to the team fight of Monkey Freedom Fighters. And for Pub to maybe make some mistakes. That'll certainly help the Alchemist quite a bit if they stop making really easy blunders. I don't really know what that would involve. Maybe like grouping up a little bit too much. That's probably the easiest way for Pub to get cleaned up. Or losing their Tusk. that's also a really easy way for Monkey Freedom Fighters to get back into this game. None of the pub player heroes are heroes that you could very easily get away with just a little bit of micro. Like, you want to be controlling your Tusk at all times. Lina and Shadow Demon as well. Very delicate spacing needs to be maintained with those heroes. And Slark, Ember Spirit, like, good luck microing a Tusk in the middle of that. So, you know, they chose a hero and a draft that's not disconnect proof. So, turns out losing your Tusk might be not the best strategy in the world here, pub. Alright, just making sure everything's good in the background, guys. Again, this is going to be the first real game of this European group stage. This is day 2 of the group stages. And it's going to be, well, obviously these two teams going up against each other. Pub are in control, and if they can and end up winning this game, they're going to be playing next up against Danish Bears. And then loser, whether it be Monkey Freedom Fighters or Pub, is going to be facing up against NLG. And the winner of the first one that I mentioned, loser of the second, god damn it, loser of the Danish Bears match, winner of the NLG match, can be playing up against each other. Then we're going to call it a day. But, of course, we have to wait for it. Hopefully, we're going to come back soon. But, yeah, they're calling him. What else is there to say? I mean, there's not really that much else. I'm sure if there was a co-caster here, he would point out something really obvious that I'm missing. But Tusk disconnected, not good times. He's going to go for his Guardian Greaves. Now, there are some... I don't actually know if you can... What is it called? Oh, man, I keep on looking this up, but I keep on forgetting. I'm going to have to look it up again. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what it's called. Mend. I don't know if you can mend off Gale from the Venomancer. There are... I mean, you can, like, pop BKB after you get hit by the Gale, but that doesn't purge it off, so Gale works really weirdly. You can get rid of some of the stuff like that. But aside from that, there's nothing really that it can mend off. I'm never, ever going to remember Mend. I don't even know what mechanism is called. What is that? Restore? Who knows these things? Does anybody know these things? Because I sure as hell don't. I think Abyssal Blade is like Overwhelm or something like that. That's not how you spell Abyssal Blade. Oh, boom, baby! Yeah! Who reads item effects? Clearly this guy. We got Soul Burn for Orchid. Haha, Force. Look at this. I clearly know this game. Is it Hex for Sheepstick? I actually don't know. Yes, it is Hex. Boom, I am just rattling off all the correct answers. What is this? Energy Blast? Energy Burst! So close. This is what I have to do when I'm alone. I have to do this. Pipe is, I actually don't know. Barrier. I should have known that, actually. Active Endurance. I did not know that one. I had no clue about that one. Satanic is Unholy Rage. This is Static Charge. This is so easy, guys. Come on. This is Disarm. Oh, yeah. This is Purge, obviously. This is Dominate. This is Berserk. Oh, man. This, I don't know what this is. Damage Return. Boo! Who named that from Blade Mail? Seriously, whoever gave that name should be fired. That's just such a stupid name. Like, at least Barrier makes sense. Like, Barrier, like, you block stuff. I guess this, like, makes sense, but it makes too much sense. That's really the problem. What else? Armlet. Unholy... It's Unholy something. Unholy Strength. I was close. I don't know what Ethereal Blade is. Ether Blast. That's all the same. This is actually very entertaining to me. I didn't actually know about this. Fire this guy too, whoever named this. Seriously. Not good times. Cripple, Shine, Cyclone. Oh well. Well, I'm sure everyone learned something very substantial today. Is that nobody knows what the hell it's called when you activate items. Like switch attributes. That's what it does. Is that what it actually is? Sacrifice? Ooh, that's like Lich, right? That's like the Soul Ring. That's where that comes from. Because he sacrifices, gives up a unit's health, a creep's health, 4 mana. But this is like you get mana by giving your own health. I see you, Valve. I see you. I'm pretty sure loads are also still borked in, there you go, in Reborn. Can you show Alchemist's money? There you go, guys. He is dirt poor. He is not having a good time. And it seems like pub players are also not having a good time because, thanks, Valve. Once your player is disconnected, you're just screwed. So 4v5, now we have an interesting game. Because if you take off the Tusk's net worth, the game is kind of even. That's not the right button. There we go. I gotta shut that down. It's actually advantage for Monkey Freedom Fighters. So yeah, this is why when you guys are creating a team, you never really want to have a teammate who has shit internet. Because you run into situations like this. And these are situations that you never really want to be running into, obviously, because I don't know, 4v5s don't seem fun. Here we go. So, yeah, Ember Spirit's going to start things up. We have a very different game. No longer is the game plan here from Pub to push. I don't think they can because they don't have a Tusk player. However, if they get the kill on Kebab, they will be able to. He's going to stick up, mech up as well. And here comes the rise of the double raise. Yapstar stole the Laguna Blade, and he's going to return it straight to the Lina. A little bit of karma straight to the dome, courtesy of Yapstar's Rubik. Not a good way to unpause the game for pub players. Even if they had everyone there, not really sure if they would have been able to prevent that, but maybe they at least get a damage trade after all is said and done. But Lina going down there, again, it's a quote-unquote support hero, but for Monkey Freedom Fighters, every single hero that they bring down is another hero that Beaver Knight doesn't have to worry about. He's just going to happily farm his jungle. Perhaps a little bit slowly, but you know what? Slow and steady. May not win the race, but at least it doesn't end up splattered on the walls. And we're going to have another pause. This is another one of the situations, guys, where you do not want to look upon any of these players who are saying unpause in a negative light at all. Because it is the admin's will, not the players. And hats off to this admin. Ace has been on point. Like, no late lobbies ever. It's been smooth. So everyone give some love to the GameShow Global Esport Cup admins, because he's a baller. They're all ballers. So far, there might be some admins out there that I don't know about. That is very possible, but seems unlikely. Either way, looks like they're looking for a Slark. Now, this is going to be the prize kill for Monkey Freedom Fighters. The problem is that they only have the duration of a level 4 telekinesis to get that kill. And the secondary problem is that Slark's long gone, so they just can't get it anymore. But yeah, I'm not really sure if they have enough burst damage to layer on into a Slark. I guess they have Concoction level 1, but you really don't want to be fighting as Alchemist. You don't want to get close to that Slark, ever. I guess they have a Laguna Blade, but ooh, Slark is on the hunt once again, looking for the Alch. Now this bodes well for Sing Sing right now, because the Slark walks through the enemy jungle, sees that there are creeps there, so he knows the Alchemist hasn't been here recently, so he may just leave after, taking a couple Centaurs. We have now a smoke up from Pub. They're back in as a full 5-man squad, and they're looking for the Alch. They will not find him, however, they may find the Shadow Fiend. Killing him off is a lot more difficult. He does have the BKB, and as far as Pub's BKB piercing tools, Walrus Punch, and Demonic Purge, that's about it. Slark is going to go once again invis. Yapsor is going to be on the receiving end of this one. This is going to hurt, it seems. So they're going to run north. Kebab also, it looks like the Slark wants Alchemist or nobody. He did see the Alchemist drop Acid Spray, but not going to make that play. Kind of a conservative play by Klasinski. Can't say I blame him. He's worth so much to the team. 10k net worth. 1,000 above the Shadow Fiend. That's dying as a Slark for a random support kill. Not what you want to be doing. For Pub, they're going to group up towards top, and while Arise is already there, he'll bring down this tower in just a matter of seconds. But for Pub, they're looking for a trade, and a good trade at that. Tier 2 tower in the bottom lane, fortifiable here for the Monkey Freedom fighters, but is it defendable? That's the real question, because 23 has a remnant to jump to if needed. I don't know where that is. I can't find it, but either way, he is going to work through the fortification. Here comes Arise. Looks like it wasn't that far away. He's going to dig himself out of there. He'll be just fine. The tower trade will instead be tier 1 in the mid lane, but someone's teleporting up towards top. It's going to be 23. Does he have another remnant? He's going to get vacuum back. He does have a remnant, so there's actually no chance that he dies here. I don't really know where that remnant is. Is that it? I think it's it. Maybe. It kind of looks like it. So yeah, he's not going to die anytime soon. Yeah, he's just going to happily defend this tower. But in the meantime, again, Beaver Knight was able to farm. When we paused last, he had like 5,500 net worth. He gained 2,000 since the last pause. That's not a bad amount for this alchemist. Completed the Radiance, another 1,000 gold to boot. Of course, he doesn't really have as much farm as he would really like, but he's getting there. Slow and steady, man. Slow and steady. And Monkey Freedom fighters aren't really losing a ton of objectives. At least Pub aren't looking to push up high ground anytime soon. Going for Roche as this lineup might be a little bit difficult. No one's going for Medallion. Oh, they have Medallion. Never mind. On the Tusk. They're really, as a team, all in on the hero killing business. And it's actually been quite a long time since they've killed a hero. In fact, the last hero to die was the Lina, I think. So for Pub, they are, once again in a situation where they're going to be looking for these kills. Don't want to be diving too aggressively for those kills because they are ahead. But if you're not going aggressive for those kills, what are you doing, man? You gotta do something. Either that or try to back off and just farm. And well, you still, even if like backing off and farming is your plan, if that's what you want to be doing, you need to actually kill off this alchemist. Keep him down on his farm level. The Shadow Fiend as well. Everyone else, whatever. Let the Venomancer farm up. He may get a point booster in this game. What are you gonna do then? What are you gonna do when the point booster comes for you? Of course, now Yapzor is having some trouble. Fantastic. Well, guys, I already read item activation abilities. I don't really know what else there is to do here. The state of the game hasn't changed pretty much at all. I'm actually a little bit surprised that the Ember Spirit doesn't have a little bit more. Yeah, he was in mid lane versus the Shadow Fiend, but still, you expect the Ember Spirit to maybe have a little more than just Battle Fury. Battle Fury drums, perhaps, at this point, if you're doing really well as the Ember. 3-1-2, not a bad score. He has, a lot of good stats and stuff, but it just seems like he doesn't have a lot. Either that or I have high expectations. Oh, Kabap in a lot of trouble. We'll just die to this Ember Spirit. How do you like your snakes? Roasted? Sleight of Fist? Ka-cha! Arrow's going to blink right over and try to TP in the trees. Well, he will get out of there, I guess, but someone who won't get out is Arise. Spotted by the poison, now put into a bubble. He has a BKB TP, and he'll have to use it if he wants to get out of here. But Walrus Punch is available, so he can't TP out just yet. He's going to try to go for the kill on Shock. Lands 2 raises, now he's going to get Walrus Punched up. He's going to pop the Haste Rune and try to run away, it seems. Mech is up. Laguna Blade, as soon as this ultimate drops, or BKB drops, he's going to try to run away from the snowball. He's not quite fast enough, and RNT is going to bowl him over. Shadow Fiend down. Arise kind of making a... well, not making a decision. I think that's the problem. He was not making a decision. He wanted to fight. Kind of thought like he was going to run. If he either fully fought or fully ran. If he fully ran, he would have gotten out alive for sure. But oh, Beaver Knight, no. He doesn't have his ultimate. Just the one Shadow Blade hit is already down to half HP. He's going to get ground down again. Has bought out an item. It's a Yasha for him. He's again getting a lot of gold. Ooh, Darius Courier going down. Why the hell? What? The creep wave? Did it just fly into a creep wave? Is that what happened? It must have. But either way, Darius Courier going down, it's kind of nice for the Alchemist, but it's not going to save him from the fact that he is still so far behind. Looks like Man Style is going to be his destination of choice, but that's going to be a long item away from actually having that completed. Ultimate Orb is a pain in the ass to farm for, especially when Pub are going to be going to the Roche Pit, grabbing that with the double damage rune onto Necroman, and then should be pushing up your base. Or your tier 2s. I mean, obviously base would be better for Pub, but tier 2 is a lot easier for them. A lot less risky. They die in the high ground push, even with an Aegis. There's no guarantee that the Alchemist isn't going to collect every single one of those kills and suddenly be at like 5,000 additional net worth. You never know. Oh, this is definitely going to help or hurt Beaver Knight. Uh-oh. He is on a timer right now. He has popped the Unstable Concoction. Kabap is here. They need sentries on the deck right now. There is an observer. There's a sentry, so they will see the Venomancer come in. But they don't know that they're spotted right now. And for Pub to crash this Ancient camp, that is going to be huge. Like, probably, once again, going to lead into an Alchemist kill. They see the Slark, however, so Acid Spray on the deck. Pub, if they walk into this, are going to be put into a funnel. And that's exactly what Demon wants. He wants the enemies to funnel as tightly as possible. But at the same time, Beaver Knight has run out of his ultimate right now. 18 seconds down the tube. Slark going to try to get into the pact. Maybe he's going to be able to steal some Ancients. Seems like they're dying, however, to the Acid. Now Rise going to take over. Backing up the Alchemist. Sleight of Fist going to catch 2. Kabap already down to half HP. Necroman's going to think about going in. Not yet. So far, it's just the Walrus Punch in onto Kabap. Can't get his ultimate off. Arise down to half HP. They vacuum RNT back. They will bring down the Tusk eventually, I feel, as Slark does pounce right through, but the Laguna Blade, Aghanim up, will slay the Alchemist easy peasy. They get the chains up onto Beaver Knight. Shock might die to Yapzor, yeah. Beaver Knight is going to die to the Lina Ember Spirit combination. Double kill for Necroman. Now charging towards Yapzor. Thinking about Demon. No, it's going to be the Rubik. Before snaps down to the low ground, another Sleight of Fist is going to see him. Ellis is going to connect, and Rubik's going to fall. 4 for 2 in favor of Pub. The stack is still kind of there, but a lot of the gold that they just got from the stack has been lost with these deaths. Back, they're not done yet. Arrow. Demon cannot blink out. Cannot vacuum back this Slark. He will fall yet again. And Slark 7-0-2 now has 3k in the bank. Again, it should be an Eye of Scotty build up for him, although he has gone for the Basher. We'll have that in 30 seconds once the Courier gets back up. That is his, right? Yeah, Clinic, he has that. And he's going to clean up some of these Ancients. It's only 2 Ancients, so it's not, you know, disastrous for Monkey Freedom Fighters, but they need this gold so badly right now. Ember Spirit now on top of the net worth chart. He also survived with the Aegis still in tow. Picked up his Battle Fury, and he has the Chrysalis now. So he's chopping heroes down pretty darn fast. I don't even know if Monkey Freedom Fighters have what it takes to come back into this game, especially after how these fights have been going. If the Venomancer was able to get his ultimate off, then they would have been able to probably at least get 1 more kill. Maybe 2 if they're super lucky. But the fact that Kabap has no health items at all really is troubling for him. In fact, he's going to run into this Ember Spirit. He doesn't have a ton of remnants right now. And Kabap, well, he's just so far away. He's just going to walk right in, chain him down, pop the shield, slow roast the snake. Easy kill for 23. Room service kill for the Ember Spirit. Unstoppable spree. 8-1-3 now on the Ember. And Monkey Freedom Fighter is almost fully on the defensive. They need to land an ultimate from the Venomancer. They need the Shadow Fiend to get to level 16. Get to maxed out souls. Landing a good Requiem is nice and everything, but if you don't have maxed out souls, then it's going to kind of be a little bit underwhelming. I think this Alchemist's game plans, his hopes of farming up, power farming back into this game are almost all but spent. He maybe will be able to get a couple more creeps and a couple more items, but I mean, Radiance Manta aren't really items that help you fight, and he will have to fight. It's still a while before he may want to go for like the Octarine build. He really wants to sit back and farm. I actually wouldn't mind it this game that much, just because he needs the health. Like, honestly, just get a soul booster for health. That's fine in my book. Obviously, if you're getting free farm, and you are okay with the amount of farm you're getting, you don't really want to Aghanim your entire team. Going for Heart or Satanic, perhaps a little bit better. But for right now, Beaver Knight just needs stuff. Anything. An Ultimate Orb, 10 stats, that's good enough. Arrow, ooh, get jumped by the Slark. Will TP out of there. Dark's here with the Plate Mail, tanky enough to withstand that Slark's onslaught, going for a Shiva's Guard. Another AoE damage component to throw into the mix, along with that Venomancer's ultimate, as well as that Shadow Fiend's Requiem. Not a bad amount, but Lina is also becoming a more and more mounting threat. Is not too far behind the enemy Alchemist, which is never something you should be saying. Has a Blink Dagger, has the level 2 Laguna Blade with Aghanims. Oh, smoke is immediately going to be blown on Kabap. I don't think 23 saw them smoke, so Necroman might still want to push this lane up. His Remnant is right around the corner, so they're going to try to bait him into jumping to the Remnant, then kill him off afterwards. Although that is very, very difficult. 23 is not going to jump just yet. There's the lift up. Can they bring him down before he jumps away? No. That's why you pick up more than a Rubik's worth of disable if you're going to be drafting a lineup, guys, because that stun, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good stun, but it's not quite good enough if you're going to go for a hero like Ember Spirit. And that was still just going to be the Aegis, so he wouldn't be able to jump away anyway. The Aegis should be close to timing out soon, so getting that kill, even if they did get it, not a huge asset for Monkey Freedom Fighters. They're going to lose their top tier 2. Slark with the Moon Shard is going to demolish that one very easily. Moon Shard on Slark, such a great item. Really just Slark and Tiny, I feel, the big Moon Shard carriers. Maybe Lone Druid Bear? I don't know. I haven't seen that before. I think Assault Cuirass is probably better than the Lone Druid Bear, but yeah, Slark doesn't really need the armor since he's going to be stealing so much agility with the Essence Shift, and you also do get the bashing. That helps also. Lots more bashes. And just locking down the likes of Alchemist so he can't run. Darkseer's Surge target. Yeah, Abyssal Blade should be the next build up for the Slark. He's going for a kind of fragile build, but because of the lack of CC from Monkey Freedom Fighters, he doesn't have much to fear. And oh, Beaver Knight, no. Not again. Radiant's doing next to nothing. And Slark will just walk away. Oh, get the courier. Oh, that's 50. What? Holy Jesus. Oh, that was the completed Manta Style and the Mystic Staff. Holy crap, that was a huge courier snipe. Now, most often, the biggest courier snipes are going to be bottle snipes early on in the laning phase. But that one, wow, that set the Alchemist back so much. Say goodbye to your 3,000 net worth. It looks like he has 11k, but really he only has 8. Oh man, that hurts so much, and that was also the Darkseer Shiva's guard. This is a pretty big opportunity for pub players. They know that there's a 3-minute window where Monkey Freedom Fighters essentially have that much less net worth. And they're going to start right away with the Slark. Slowly but surely chip down this tower. Got the Pounce away. He only has the Rubik to fear. Again, there's not much that the Slark has to worry about right now. They'll just back off, maybe kill off the Creep Wave, get a little bit of Shadow Dance regen in the shadows while dancing. And look at that. The push continues. The push stops for no one. Acid Spray, Poison Wards, I mean, these are pretty good counter push tools, but it's not really good enough to kill off a Slark, and that's what they need at this point, because Slark is doing so much work across the map. Top lane Creep Wave going to be killed off instantly. Easy game, easy life. And pub players are now in this stage of the game where they can just slowly rotate around the map in the lanes, kill off anyone who's foolish enough to get past a certain threshold, pretty much the threshold of the line I just drew, and then slowly chip down the towers. And this is not with the intent of going up high ground right now. They really just want to wait for an Aegis, I feel. Although they do have a double damage rune on Ember Spirit. That's pretty good if they want to go right now. If they want to, they don't have to. But yeah, just, you know, make sure Monkey Freedom Fighters aren't farming these lanes. Push the lanes out while just burning time. And we don't know exactly when this Roshan is going to be up. And there we go, there's a question mark. What a question mark. It looks like a freaking 3. But they don't know when the Roshan is going to be up, but rest assured they will be able to secure it once it does come up. And then Monkey Freedom Fighters have probably their best chance at making a play. And that play is defend high ground. That's when the Vacuum Wall, now level 16 on the Darkseer, is going to become relevant. They should have their items up by then. Yeah, the courier is going to be up, but not in time to really be there to crash the Roche Pit. Level 1 ultimate up on Venomancer. He needs levels so badly right now. And by levels, I mean level. He just needs 1. Just needs a little bit more experience to get a little bit more damage on that ultimate. No chance for him to really get an Aghanim Scepter anytime soon in this game. The game's going to have to go the distance if that's going to be the case. And I don't know. Judging by the pace of this game, pub aren't really looking like they're going to give Monkey Freedom Fighters that much space. They're killing off a wave when they can get it, but we see right now, even Shock's farming up his own jungle. The pub side are farming all 3 lanes, bouncing between them very quickly, and the enemy jungle as well. So yeah, they're just getting further ahead the more time passes. And this is even, mind you, with an Alchemist, who finally is going to have his Manta Style. Shiva's guard is finally up on the Darkseer. But this isn't even, as I said before, like the end-all for the Alchemist. These are just farming items. Alchemist with illusions really just wants to spread them out, get Radiance Burn everywhere, and kind of behave like Naga Siren to some extent. But unlike Naga Siren, Alchemist has shit stat growth, so these illusions are pretty much paper. Paper with Radiance Burn, which I don't know what it's called. Toggle Burn. Okay, well, you know, there you go. You learn something new every day. Looks like they tried to go for the Ember Spirit again, and what a surprise, it didn't work. I mean, Monkey Freedom Fighters, I guess it's nice that they try to go for these, but I'm pretty sure there's one Sleight of Fist on the Shadow Fiend, so yeah, he has Daedalus, by the way. He hurts like hell. There's a big Ember Spirit, and soon to be a little bit bigger. Blink Dagger picked up by the Ember Spirit. Okay, that's an interesting way to go. This is definitely a high ground breaching build for both him and the Tusk. I mean, Tusk Blink Dagger is more or less standard, but the Slark has his Abyssal Blade completed. No buybacks from the pub side, but even if they lose a 5-0 fight, they're probably going to lose like a tower, maybe 2 in that time. Not a big deal. They don't need buybacks. Roshan is up. For how long, however? Let's actually count a timer. It's 42 right now when they start. Actually, let's start it right now. 48 when the Roshan is really going to start out. Now, they don't have the most minus armor. There's no Slardar here. The Shadow Fiend's on the other team. But it's been 10 seconds, and it's already down to a third of his HP. So yeah, you have for Monkey Freedom Fighters. Yeah, 15-second window to crash that fight. Not gonna happen, man. Not ever gonna happen. Since it may not have been up by then. Who knows? They're completely in the dark. It's like Schrodinger's Aegis. When a certain time threshold passes, the Roshan is both there and not there until observed. Boom! Oh my god. Guys, are you following me? Do you understand this genius that I'm putting out right now? I am some next level physicist, Dota physicist. That was actually kind of weak. No, that was actually pretty awesome. Who am I kidding? They're gonna jump Slark, but this is a Slark with the Aegis. He actually just doesn't care. He'll take all the damage in the world, and look at the damage. That was one sleight of fist. That's like a 5-second, 6-second cooldown. So yeah, that hurts. And they don't have the answers to the Ember Spirit. Not now. Pretty much not ever. Their draft just doesn't really work well up against an Ember Spirit. And they had all the time in the world to counter that hero, and they're gonna get double punished by the fact that there's also a Slark to deal with. So you have one telekinesis. You better choose very carefully, Yapzor. They're gonna jump forward for MDL. He does not have the mobility to get out of there. They'll kill off the Lina, get away with the Dragon Slay, but here comes Slark. Oops, spotted, but will not be getting in there. 1,000 gold, 400 lost by the Lina. That's a pretty big kill for Monkey Freedom Fighters, mostly because without their Lina, pub players will be unlikely to go for a push. They still can, probably, get some free damage in on these tier 3s. But while Beaver Knight is jammed up in his base, he's not getting as much gold as he really would like. So Manta Style as an item, kind of a mediocre pickup in this situation for an Alchemist. You really want to be on the offensive, like if it was pub to have the Manta Style Alchemist, like all these creep camps would just be dead zo every single time. Just so much gold rolling in. Oh, Arise gonna get into another fight with 23. Blink forward, lift up into a Requiem. Oh, and that's gonna pop him immediately. That was 100 to 0. Holy Jesus. Okay, well, you know, telekinesis is the only tool they have to lift him up, to disable him at all. But if you haven't that much burst damage, shit, man, he didn't even have a chance to get his Flame Guard up, and that probably would have saved him. But that was point blank Requiem, which does a hell of a lot of damage. And Ember Spirit, maybe you're regretting that Blink Dagger choice. You don't really see a lot of health items usually on Ember Spirit. Again, if anything, it's pretty much just Eye of Scotty. Just for value reasons. The slow is also pretty nice as well, but that's a huge kill for the Shadow Beam. 4,900 gold now up. At this stage, Monkey Freedom Fighters, again, anything is good. Ember Spirit is the best, but losing Venomancer, that sucks. Is he level 11 yet? He is, so I mean, it's a loss, but it's not really a huge one. But any item that the Shadow Fiend can grab is huge, especially this one. This is going to be Monkey Freedom Fighters' potential ticket to victory. It's a ticket that says, maybe you win. I don't know if I would buy that ticket, but still, at least it's better than having no ticket at all. Because this Shadow Fiend has a blink and now has a sheep stick. Between the jump in telekinesis from Yapzor and now the blink and sheep from Arise, they actually do have a chance at killing off the likes of Slark and Ember Spirit again without having to use the Requiem. And that is huge because pub, they're still not pushing in just yet. Again, they cannot push in without their full 5-man squad. They don't really want to voluntarily walk into a full 5-on-5 engagement. Their draft is built around pickoffs, and they are looking for pickoffs, but it's just not working for them because it's going to be MFF to grab those pickoffs instead. Illusion's going to be pushing up the mid lane, and they're expecting someone to travel towards the top, maybe see the Slark pop up there anytime soon. Slark, though, is on the bottom lane. Wrong spot. I like this move for Monkey Freedom Fighters, however, it's not going to pan out for them. Man, this is really where you would love to see the white glow of a TP coming in on those creeps, like from the Ember Spirit or something like that, but he's in his own jungle. Good recognition from pub that something's going on. They're going to keep themselves safe. Although, to be fair, they could have easily, Monkey Freedom Fighters just went down to the bottom lane and gotten that kill anyway. They're still going for it. Demon's pushing out super far. This is dangerous. This is very, very dangerous. Okay, he's going to blink TP. He's fine, luckily for him. There is no Slark right around the corner with an Abyssal Blade. But this is the slow burn game. This is pub slowly strangling MFF out of resources. We see the little bit of a hiccup after that, the kill on the Lina and the Ember Spirit. But it's going right back into a nosedive in favor of pub. An Alchemist, he has 4,700 gold. He's actually getting quite a bit up. Is still nowhere close to the top of the net worth chart and is not really going to be getting there anytime soon. What do you get after this? Again, health is going to be pretty darn good. Assault Cuirass seems pretty decent as well. Against Pub, it is very similar, just having straight up health. Where's the gem floating around? It's on the Tusk? No, it's on the Shadow Demon. So we'll make sure that these sentries that MFF are placing are not going to last for very long. However, they have to jump in onto RNT. They sheep him up, showing off that sheep stick. Shiva's guard is there, and Tusk is going to fall. Another kill for MFF, and they take no damage on the towers in the meantime. Pub are really not taking this high ground push in a really clean fashion. Just kind of walking in willy-nilly. What they should do, perhaps, is consolidate their forces if they really want to end the game right now. And look for that pick-off, or, 5-man on the bottom lane, like right now onto Gabap. That's what they should be doing if they want to end the game. They don't really have to be ending the game right now. Again, they're getting so far ahead. I have Scotty, soon to be up in the Slark. He already is damn near impossible to kill for the MFF side. Get him that Eye of Scotty's worth of stats, and that's going to be, well, actually unkillable. As nice as it is to have a sheep stick on your Shadow Fiend and a lift up, you're going to have to land all of that, plus a point blank Requiem. Plus, I think Rubik's going to have to steal something useful. Maybe add in that little bit of stun duration, disable duration from Vacuum. Who knows? But Pub are not winning this game yet. They are in a good position to win this game. With the double damage on Slark gets a little bit better. But winning and having won a game those are two different things. Oh, he sees a courier though. Oh, this courier is so dead. Oh no, Llama, don't do it. Okay, well, Rubik's also dead. That definitely happened. They're gonna look for the chains of the Kebab. He'll get netted down. And now the Slark, one shot, hacked up, pounce. No, not gonna pounce in. In fact, it's gonna be the one sleight of fist to get the kill. Okay, that's a dead Venomancer. Two supports on the deck, and now for Pub. Well, they have another shot of going up high ground in a 5v3 advantage. This is their time to go. All three lanes are pushing in. They have a 30-second window. The Alchemist's Octarine is now up on the courier. Looks like that won't be sniped. But Octarine is, again, not the fighting item that you want to have right now. It's like kind of stage 3 of that farming phase, but I don't really know if you have time to go into more stages. Your tier 3 bottom lane is under siege. Acid Spray, they don't even have the Plague Wards this time. Gonna chuck a potion. Slark doesn't care. Eye of Scotty, where is the Eye of Scotty? Okay, she's not up yet. He'll just Shadow Dance, fall back, get full HP. It's almost as if this Slark has a heart. But we all know that he's a cold, heartless killer. This guy takes no prisoners. They will fall back, actually. Pub not interested in a 5v5 at all. This is the safest way to play this game because, oh, well, RNT is going to get lifted up. Ice Shard stolen and returned, but they walk in, get a tower for free. As long as they avoid the Vacuum Wall combo from the Darkseer and the follow-up from the Venomancer and Requiem, that is going to be how Pub wins this game. So slowly but surely. And by slowly but surely, I mean slowly, man. These guys are not taking this game fast at all. Even though I probably think they can get away with a full 5-on-5 engagement, why risk it? You know that you're getting further ahead than the enemies, faster than the enemies. Yeah, Alchemist may have his Octarine core at this point. Yeah, he may have 1800 HP, which is actually quite high. It's not higher than the Shadow Fiend or the Slark, who has 1,000 more HP than him, but you know what? It's something for the Alchemist. Can Sing Sing ever recover in this game? Will he be able to make a full recovery by the time he loses Raxes? Because I'm pretty sure that's going to be happening soon. Like, sooner or later, these Raxes are going to fall, I feel. Unless Monkey Freedom Fighter just keep on getting these random picks. It's like, hope that Pub get really stupid. Oh, onto the Slark. That's ambitious. He had randomly packed it off, though. So the Sheep Stick didn't land at all. Beaver Knight's going to end up stunning himself. Now here comes the Ember Spirit. Going to land some Searing Chains. Force Staff Alchemist the wrong way into a Demonic Purge. He needs more help right now. He's going to pop Manta Style Slark. Perhaps a little bit confused. The Alchemist, though, is going to get netted down. Blink forward from the Shadow Fiend. Giant Requiem and the wall. And they're going to lose, too. They're also going to lose the Slark, who does a buyback, but a huge cleave through onto Necroman. Arise dropping pretty low right now. Another jump forward from the Necroman. Ember Spirit's going to grab that kill, and now Arrow. Demon's going to try to lure him into the wall to fight. Illusion's doing quite a bit of damage, but it's a 3-for-3 trade. Yeah, the Ember Spirit does get away. He is difficult to kill, very difficult, very similar to the Slark. But they do bring down the Slark. They trade away their Alchemist for it, but that was the combo that Pub players were trying to avoid for the entirety of this pushing phase. They just want to avoid the wall. They just want to avoid the Requiem, but it all landed with the ultimate from the Venomancer as well. It did a hell of a lot of damage. Unfortunately, that was all in an attempt to save the Alchemist, and they did not. So Pub players still with the Ember Spirit active can go for this push, knowing that only Darkseer and Rubik are alive. Melee Rax will fall. Yapzor may fall as well. Has a Force Staff, has a Pounce, but he's going to try to telekinesis the Ember Spirit instead. It's going to be absorbed by the Lincoln Sphere. Good pickup by the Ember Spirit, making him completely safe to all the CC effects of Monkey Freedom Fighters. He'll now jump over towards... Okay, all the way over here. Never mind. Thought he was going to go towards mid for a little bit more pushing. He will, actually. Kill off the entire creep wave. Now Lena's going to grab a Lincoln Sphere. Not really to save herself, mostly just to apply to the Slark so that he's not going to drop anytime soon. But Necroman's bouncing all over the place, man, getting all of this delicious, delicious gold. He just grabbed a Lincoln Sphere not too long ago. Now he's back up to 4,700 Gs. Upgrade his travels. Wait, hold up. Why does he have power treads? Did he get 2 boots? Did I notice that? Like he got travels first. He must have gotten power treads after for some reason. I'm not really sure why. We now has level 2 travels, so yeah, sell the power treads, get what looks like an MKB, and then be happy. Slark, alternatively, gonna ship out the drums, drop him in the stash, because, you know, you definitely need the drums at this stage. You go for that Roshan. This is a cheese Aegis Roshan right now, and it's gonna be very easily claimed by pub players. Aegis for Slark, cheese for Lena? Yeah, cheese for Lena. Ember Spirit is pretty much 6 lot. He has so much more farm than Slark. Just naturally can farm faster. And as deadly as Slark is, he's deadly to heroes, not really deadly to creeps. I mean, he's deadly to creeps, but can't clear them out as efficiently as the Ember Spirit. Just one sleight of fist, you get the entire creep wave. Feels good, man. Now we have round 2 coming in from pub. They have their Aegis, they have all their timers. They have the Aegis on the Slark, that's super crucial. As long as Ember Spirit avoids that initiation, oh, they're going to jump in, Sheepstick. Number 1 onto the Slark. They're going to pop a concoction on him, try to bring him down. That's the Aegis. They have another Sheepstick. Will they try to go for it? Requiem, BKB, Slark is going to take the full-on Requiem, but he has already Shadow Danced out. They need the Sheepstick instead. Now here comes 23. Beaver Knight's going to get stunned him by himself. It looks like he'll get back up to full in no time because of how great his ultimate is. They kill off the Slark, however, expend the Requiem to do so. Everything else will cool down. I mean, no, pretty much already has cooled down. So that's a pretty big pick-off. Pub player is really struggling to go up this high ground. May just ship over the cheese to the Slark and try again, knowing that Arise's ultimate is not available. That was also not a maxed out Requiem. He needs the souls. When you're dying so much and when you're getting pushed like this, it is very hard to always be maxed out on those souls. But he'll get it up soon enough. The pub players, where's the lane? Is it going to be top lane? It seems like it is. Bap is already going to get there and start laying down those Plague Wards. Alchemist has 2,500 Gs, and it is going to be a point booster for him. A point booster doesn't really build into a ton of items right now. I think it's going to be Scotty for the health and for the slow. He can lift up onto the Slark. He's going to pounce away before he gets Sheep Tower, so he's going to live. And well, Alchemist is going to stun himself again. Yeah, the point booster doesn't really build into that many items. I don't think a Aghanim Scepter on any of these heroes is really going to be swinging the game. Perhaps you want to give it to the Venomancer, if anyone at all. Yeah, it's an interesting item for sure in this Alchemist. You probably don't go for another soul booster. You might want to go for Scotty. I think it's either that or Venomancer Ags. Right now, Concoction's going to be jumped away by Slark. He'll be just fine. Arise. Well, he has that Blink Sheep. Bringing him down first for Pub pretty much instantly forces out the buyback from Rise. And if he doesn't have buyback, then they just probably take another set of Raxes. Bottom lane is starting to push back in. Okay, Aghanim Scepter. For Kebab. Now we can take a quick look at this Aghanim's upgrade. Venomancer is probably one of the heroes that benefits the most from this, having Alchemist on the team. Oh, they get the jump in. They get the Sheepstick, and here comes the Requiem. It's going to do so much damage to the Slark. He's at half HP. He's at a third HP. He's down. Darkseid's going to grab that kill. They do deploy the wall, so they need a little bit more for this. Uranite's going to charge forward. Shock is taking Nova damage. That's a level 2 Nova with Aghanim. They're going to bring him down. Now MDL's in a lot of trouble. Concoction's going to land. The Lena's going to fall. Where's the Ember Spirit? Where's the Tusk? They're long gone. An amazing fight for Monkey Freedom Fighters. They do have to tend to their base right now. Teleport down from the Shadow Fiend, I think. No, it's actually Demon. He'll clean this one up in no time. That's a 3-kill, though, and a huge 3-kill. 4,800 gold swing, 8,000 experience for the Monkey Freedom Fighters side. And I guess we don't have time to look at the Nova before it's actually used, but man, does it increase the damage. It doubles. It reduces the cooldown drastically. It doesn't double the damage output. It gives you like about 50% more, 45% more damage on the Venomancer, but it ultimately at level 2, oh, I actually don't know how much it does on level 2, but I know at level 3 it does 1,600 magic damage. That is absolutely ridiculous coming out from a support hero. Lena can do that in 2 Laguna Blades. Ooh, Ember Spirit trying to get a little bit of cheese pick on the Alchemist. But that's a big hold from the Monkey Freedom Fighter side. Was there cheese used there? There's like something in my mouth. I don't know what that is. Don't want to be eating it. Got it. It's fine, guys. Don't worry. Looks like the cheese is still on the Slark. So that was not used in that last fight, so they will have that for the next one. But they lose a tower, and Rubik's going to jump way too far in. Has a 4-staff, so he's not in a ton of trouble. We'll get right over the shards. RNT is going to snowball into Yapstor. Walrus Punch will not get the kill. Now he has backup. Does die, however, here comes Arise, blinking right in. There is no Requiem, but they get the vacuum back onto 2. Arise dropping kind of low to the Laguna Blade. RNT sheeped up. He will get 4-staffed away from the Requiem, and he looks like he will survive. Beaver Knight trying to TP out of there. We'll put into a bubble. Now here comes Necroman. Right into the Shadow Fiend will bring him down. Beaver Knight in a little bit of trouble. Will pop off his ultimate, and he's going to get slayed immediately afterwards. That's going to be just Monkey Freedom Fighters getting way too comfortable in this game. They think, hey, we just took last fight really well. We can do this one well as well. We can do this one pretty well also. But just not going to be the case. That's 3 kills now for Pub, and they're going to push in towards mid. Necroman is, man, super farmed. I mean, yeah, Moonshard's not even that great for Ember Spirits, but I think he might just have to get that item because there's nothing else to get. Alchemist forced to buy out. The Shadow Fiend has his buyout as well. Beaver Knight's going to chuck a potion. Not do that much. And here we go. Tower is going to get chipped down once again by the Slark. He has been shown to be at least killable. Double Blink Sheep up on the MFF side. The Monkey Freedom Fighters are able to kill off the Slark in theory. They have to get to the Lincoln Sphere first. Concoction going to pop it. Now the Sheep Stick opening is there. Blink forward, Sheep, Wall, Vacuum, Nova from Kebab. That's going to do a hell of a lot of damage to 23 and Slark both. He's going to try to Shadow Dance and try to balance it. He's going to jump towards Kebab, but with the Ghost Scepter, no longer an easy kill. Concoction going to land. Beaver Knight's going to charge right in with the Ion Shell up. Slark, though, going to get glimmered out. He's going to survive for a little while longer. 23 is doing so much damage in the midst of these fights. Beaver Knight will fall again. He has no buyback. He already used it. And with the cheese pop by the Slark, he's still at very high amounts of HP. The Nova did its toll on Pub Gaming for sure, but they will be fine in just a little bit. Especially the Slark, who's going to get right back up to full. The Shadow Fiend is now back up. What has the Alchemist actually bought? No, it was just the item scepter, nothing else aside from that. And now the Raxes are once again in a little bit of trouble. Slark is at full right now. They're going to go right in after slaying the creep wave. Wall has dissipated. Without the vacuum wall, I don't really know if it's possible for him to take it, although they do have a pressure orb. They're going to jump into a rise, force the BKB, already down half HP, now pops the Requiem. It's going to do quite a bit of damage with the vacuum back. Secondary vacuum is there, but no wall just yet from Demon. RNT still alive, but he will get the wall dropped right on him. Slark jumps through the wall, big sleight of fist onto Kebab and Yapsor. Chained down, they will be surviving here. It is going to be the wall and refresher orb used just for the Tusk, however. Not good enough. They're going to slide right towards the mid lane. Slark's still at full HP. Oh, they land chains onto Yapsor. Kill him off in an instant. That's going to be 1 kill. Rise going to blink away from the Slark. Do they have any sheep sticks? They don't. They're all on cooldown. Rubik's going to be forced to buy back. Melee Rax is going to take a lot of damage. Now going to be dropped. Ranged Rax is the same thing. And Arrow's going to charge in Shiva's Guard Sheep Stick onto Klozinki right now. But no, he's going to get away. Now 23 is going to come in right into a rise, slay him in an instant. No buyback on the Shadow Fiend. And this is going to be Monkey Freedom Fighter's base to fall. Kebab's going to try to get to his base, his fountain. He may get there, but that means his top Raxes are completely undefendable. It took Pub a hell of a long time, but a win's a win. And this is definitely going to be that win, as Monkey Freedom Fighters have no chance at surviving up against these Megas. Great play from Pub all game, really. Is the constant pressure, constant rotations, getting onto Beaver Knight, making sure he's not going to have a good game throughout the entirety of it. Ended up with okay items by the end, but I mean these are good items to have, but these are not enough for what the team needs. The Shadow Fiend performed valiantly. Demon had some great vacuum walls, but when you're this far behind, there's just not much that you can do. And now Klozinki is looking for Beaver Knight one more time. End the game like how they began it. Well, maybe not, but look at these hits from Necroman right now. He's going to jump around to Beaver Knight. One more sleight of fist. Ka-cha! Gets the kill. Everyone's dead for Monkey Freedom Fighters. GG is called. And that means that Pub Gaming, they now have a future date with... Pub players have a future date with... Who is it? Danish Bears. I knew it was Bears. Like, where are they from again? Danish Bears. Going to be coming up next, guys. Monkey Freedom Fighters fighting to the bitter end. Ultimately do fall. Guys, I'm Mikelorus. It's been a pleasure casting this game for you guys. And I will be right back with the next game, which is going to be that Danish Bears versus Pub Players game. Don't go anywhere. There's more coming soon.